as we are getting ready for Money in the Bank going down this Saturday at the O2 Arena in London, England. I'm very excited for this show. 3 o'clock p.m. start time on the East Coast, a little bit better than that 12 Pacific stuff. Or, a little bit better than 9 Pacific for the West Coasters out there. 12 Pacific is a bit better for our West Coast brothers and sisters. As we briefly preview Money in the Bank, this is really going to come down to the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Let's skip everything else. Let's talk about who's walking away with the briefcase. Let's start with the women, shall we? So we got Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark in the mix. Also in this match is Bayley, Io Sky as well. And I think there's one more person I'm missing, but it was supposed to be Shotzi trying to qualify for Money in the Bank against Bayley. If she could beat her, she's in the match. But then guess what? The match was scrapped because Vince had his hands in the cookie jar for reasons we can't get into. But based on the names I have announced for this match, might be missing somebody. My apologies. I'm so sorry. But Scott, your pick as to who you think is going to walk away as Miss Money in the Bank, and my missing person is Zelina Vega. Thank you very much.
Well, don't worry. It wasn't going to be Zelina Vega anyway. So, I think Io Sky takes it. I think we continue the dissension with Bayley. I think Bayley gets extremely jealous. And I think we're eventually going to get that Io Sky Asuka match. I think this briefcase can definitely play into that. I think Io Sky is going to be my pick to take it.
I like that pick a lot. I'll reveal my pick after Jeremy reveals his pick for Miss Money in the Bank 2023.
Yeah, I think I'm going to rule out Zelina Vega. I'm going to take Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, and Trish Stratus off the board with all three of those together. It does come down to Bayley versus Io Sky for me. And since Scott took Io Sky, I'm going to go with Bayley.
Look at you playing opposites day. I do like the pick. I'm going to lean with Io Sky as well to finally cement herself as a babyface on SmackDown. I think it's her time now. Her performance at Backlash of Puerto Rico, San Juan, like those fans loved her and they were ready for a title change that night, which was facing Bianca Belair for the then SmackDown Women's Championship, or shall I say Raw Women's Championship, until we ended the confusion with our new belts in the last couple of weeks or so. But I do sense it's Io's time now to be in the running for a major championship in WWE, and winning the briefcase would be a great way to facilitate that. This should be a very interesting matchup. You got some talented people in the mix. Should be a lot of fun. And as Jeremy suggested, just cross out Becky, Zoe, and Trish. They will eliminate themselves somehow, some way. And also to Trish, unlimited cheddar biscuits for life. My God, like a wondrous, ageless wonder for her in WWE, and still not missing a beat in the ring. And I love that for her as well. And now it is time for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. The Magnificent Seven, Logan Paul, Santos Escobar in the mix. We've got Damian Priest. We've got Ricochet. We've got Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, and one more person in the mix as well, if I can remember. Butch. I'm sorry, Pete Dunne. Almost forgot about you. Thank you, Jeremy, for coming through in the clutch. 7 talented guys could go down as one of the most exciting, athletic Money in the Bank matches in history. But Scott, who's your pick to be Mr. Money in the Bank 2023?
So I think this really comes down to a three-headed race. I think you got 2 clear-cut favorites, and then Damian Priest as kind of your dark horse. Logan Paul, LA Knight comes down to those two. Man, I really like the story of Logan Paul walking around with that briefcase, just dangling over Seth Rollins' head, and him just dangling over the fans' head like, yo, I can literally cash this in and become world champion whenever I want. And just, yeah, I think Logan Paul takes it, man. And I'm here for the meltdown that will happen after he wins.
I will not melt down. I'll have a parade. I will celebrate because I do love Logan Paul as a wrestler. Human being, I'm still working my way through it, but as a wrestler, he is highly entertaining. And, I ain't going to be mad. I'm going to be thrilled if he walks away with the championship by cashing in. But, Jeremy, your pick, who you got for Mr. Money in the Bank this year?
Logan Paul is a good choice. Damian Priest, I'm going to rule out because he just had a title match with Seth Rollins. And yes, there is meat on the bone for a face turn and a potential chance to do that again. But frankly speaking, I know that WWE is all about the American Nightmare, but I think they really need to get behind the LA Nightmare as well.
I like that option as well. LA Knight, I think that he could be a dark horse for sure. He is clearly a fan favorite despite being a heel right now in WWE. My pick, I'm going to go with Logan Paul. This is a guy that can really cause trouble as Mr. Money in the Bank, dangling that briefcase over a whole lot of people's heads. And I think that deep down, he wants to run it back with Seth. I think he's a little disappointed by the WrestleMania match. It was very good, but even when he said, you know what, I could have did a little bit something more. And I like that, the reassessment of I could have did something a little bit different. It wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I think if they ran it back, it'll be a lot better. So yeah, give me Logan Paul as Mr. Money in the Bank, because I think he'll be a hell of a guy to carry that briefcase around, possibly having Bronson Reed as his proxy along the way. And when the time comes from the cash in, I'm going to be happy. I'm popping bottles because I like Logan Paul as a wrestler. Human being, I'm still growing into it. But as a wrestler, he's excellent.